Bianca here, and I am going to briefly discuss what's in part 2 of the 3-part series of creating your digital Teachers Pay Teachers product from scratch. So part 1, we created the product. Part 2, we're getting ready to prepare it to upload the Teachers Pay Teachers. So we added a credits thank you page. We added our logo, our copyright information to each slide. We flatten the images or the product itself so it doesn't move around. I even show you how to take it from a free product to a paid product. And then I also show you how to turn it into a PDF, add links within your PDF, and everything that you need to do to get it ready for Teachers Pay Teachers. So our third video, which will be coming out soon, the link will be down below with the rest of the links. The third video is fully uploading the Teachers Pay Teachers, including adding in a thumbnail image and a preview image and things like that. So stay tuned for all that. Make sure you're subscribed so that you know when the videos are up and they're ready to go. And if you have any comments or anything else you want me to add into the videos, please put it in the comments below, and I can go ahead and do that, especially before I start working on the third video, or maybe I can make a future video. If you need to go back and watch video 1, that link is down below as well. So thank you. Go ahead and get started. I hope you enjoy.
Welcome back. This is where we left off at in the very first video with our Student of the Week awards. And let's go ahead and get started. We're going to go into Insert, and I want to show you that we are going to make a dotted line. So you're going to go into Shape, go to Line, and the dotted line, I just want to show teachers where they can cut. So once you have that, you can click on it and go up to where the lines are and go to the arrow pointing down, and then you could see different types of lines, and you can click the arrow. And then once you have that in, you can also go in and add more like an icon of some scissors. So if you want to show visually that they need to cut there, so not just for maybe the teacher, but for the student, especially if you have kindergarten level, first grade level students, or even pre-K, even more than, then you could show students that this is where what you need to cut and where you need to cut. And you could drag the arrow around to flip it vertical, horizontal. You can make it smaller or bigger, but I felt like having the arrow there was getting in the way of the certificate, because if they cut there, you can see the arrow kind of gets into the top of the certificate, and you could play around with it. But I just decided to delete the scissors altogether. So next, we're going to add in our thank you page, which is our copyright. And you're just going to go to Insert, and then go to New Slide, New Blank Slide. And then I put a border around my thank you slide, or my copyright slide. And I do the same thing. I go to Shape, create a shape, and all right, just like we did in the very first video. And then once you get into Insert or Use Table, you can also create shapes that way as well. I just want to show you that really quick. So once you have your shape there, go into Shape Outline. Remember, I like to use like purple as my branding color, but you can use whatever color that you like. But for this, I'm going to stay with the blue because we have the blue border that we did in the first slide. So I'm going to go back and forth here, but you're going to see how you can change it to whatever brand colors that you normally use. You can also make the shape of the outline thicker by using weight, and the border can change also into different shapes. So go back to Shape Outline, go to the bottom, and you can see that you can change it to different shapes that might appeal to even possibly a younger crowd. Like squiggly lines and things like that. So that's kind of cool to use. That's all in PowerPoint, especially if you never knew it was there. I remember when I first found out, I was like, whoa, there's so much in PowerPoint I do not know. So I'm going to use the thick line to create my border. Make sure that it's centered, line it up, And when you see the little X right there, that means that everything's centered. Then type in your text box. You can put your thank you message in, and I'm just going to put something in there that's very generic. But what you're going to find is I'm just going to use, once you have something that you want to use, you want to continue to create it and use it over and over again. So then it's just cut and paste, copy and paste, or if you have a slide that's already done, you can just insert it. You can center it if you like. And here I'm just going in and I noticed the top font was different from the font from the bottom, so I'm changing it to match the font that I had in the thank you part. So I want everything just to be the same. And then I'm going to also just make it bigger and get it centered. And I want the part that has where teachers can sign up for free teacher printables. I want that kind of by itself so that teachers can see that because I then can have teachers go on my email list and I can send them emails and send them updates on other items I might be selling, or just send out tips and other freebies that I send out in my email list. So if you notice, there's kind of more of a blank areas on the thank you page, and usually what you can do in those blank areas is that you can add pictures with links back to your Teachers Pay Teachers store. You could add links of other products that you might that might go with, like the awards. You can also do credits to maybe those that you got your font from, and give links and pictures back to those sellers, or maybe if you got clip art from somebody else. You can always add more. A lot of Teachers Pay Teachers sellers do that. But since we made everything all on our own, we don't need to add any credits back to anybody. We did it all through PowerPoint. We didn't buy anything extra. So that's kind of the beauty of, doing it on your own. So you can either use up that space for yourself, or even use up that space to really just link back and push other products that you have inside of your Teachers Pay Teachers store. Now we're going to go in and go to View, and we're going to go and add in our branding. So if you go to View and go to Slide Master and go all the way to the top slide, we are going to add in our copyright information to each slide. So, and I'm going to copy paste what I what I had on my thank you page and put it down into the footer area of the master slide. So the master slide kind of controls everything that you see in each of your slides. So go back into view, go to slide master, go to make sure you're at the very top page, because that's the master slide, and put your information into the footer area. Now I'm going to delete both of the boxes on each side because I'm not going to use them or need them. And I'm going to just move that out to everything is just on one line and actually make it smaller. Usually about an 8 or a 9 works. And then slide it over to the right hand side corner of the page. Now what you will see is we need to go back into insert and then go to header and footer and make sure that we click the box that says footer, and you'll already see that information there that I just pasted in. And this is a very important step. Now if you do have like slide numbers or notes, you can go in and add that information, but for the most part you're just going to click that and make sure that you apply to all. So now you would see that on the other slides below, that's going to have all your information. And then when you close the slide master, it's going to be at the bottom of both slides. So if it's not at the bottom of both slides, that means you need to go back to slide master and maybe put it on the title slide, because sometimes sometimes you start your work on the title slide, but then you don't put maybe your numbers or your copyright information on the title slide. So here I'm just showing you where it's on each of the slides. Now it was off a little bit and I just you can go in and correct it because I want it to show instead of kind of being off the page. And so now that correctly showed that, I have it in a spot where I want it. Now something I want to show you is if you want to turn your product from this free product to a paid product, there's a couple of things that you can do. You can go in and change the icons. You can do that easily by duplicating the slide and just going and change the icons, change the shooting star. And this is an example of one that I did where you can have, math award or reading award, and just switch it up like that. That's the simplest way to go. So next we're going to go in and we are going to flatten our images so things don't move around. The first thing you're going to do is save your slides, or save a copy since it's already possibly saved. And I usually use a TPT folder, but I'm going to save this just to my desktop. And once you hit save a copy and put the location, you're going to go down and save it as a JPEG or a PNG file. Mostly people use JPEG because it doesn't take a lot of room, but I like to use PNG because PNG is a little bit crispier. The images look a lot more clear. And then you're going to save it to all slides. And now you're going to have both of your slides are going to be images. Now, what I'm going to do with the images, this is what they look like. What I'm going to do with the images, I am going to format them into background images into PowerPoint. Now, for the sake of this video and showing you, I'm just going to add in 2 more slides here into the presentation, but I'm normally not going to do this, so you're going to see that I'm going to delete this once we get to our next video. So here I'm just going to go to format background, and then I'm going to go to picture, and then I'm going to go to insert. And you could do this by right clicking on the slide as well. So get rid of all the text boxes and things like that are there. Once you go to insert, you're going to find where you saved the slides that you just saved as a PNG or JPEG, and you're going to insert it. And now you can see that our slide from number 1, that where everything moved around, is now the background image. I'm going to do that the same to the second slide. And then I'm going to insert in those slides. So now nothing will move around. The lines won't move around. The pictures, the icons won't move around either. So next I want to show you how you can turn this product into an editable product, or where it can be digital, where the teacher can just go in and type on it once it's already into the format of a picture. So I just go in and add a text box. You can put the text box here. They can write the name of who they're awarding it to. And usually I'll just put name here and highlight it for teachers to see it. You can center it as well. And you can have that done for every line. And this really takes your product from a free product to a paid product, making it editable. And then you could just upload the PowerPoint itself as the file in TPT. So now I'm going to show you how you can add in your links into PowerPoint. If you go to Insert and create a text box, and then highlight the text box, and then go to Insert and Link, and then add in the web address, then you can add in your link either back to a paid product that you have on Teachers Pay Teachers, or add in a link to a blog that you might have, or even just giving credit back to people you may have bought font from, or clip art, or anything like that. So that's one way to do it. And I'm going to show you a second way once we get into PDF Escape, how you can add the links once it gets into an actual PDF. Now, if you notice, we have our first and second slide that we've been working off of, and our third and fourth slide that are now formatted pictures. We're going to export this into a PDF, and I'm going to export all the slides, even though you probably, if you've been following along, you just should have 2. So if you open up the PDF, so I have the first 2 slides that we used when we started, and then the second 2 slides that I formatted into picture backgrounds. Now the first 2 slides they already had the links embedded into the PDF. So you could upload this product using those first 2 slides just as is. And I usually don't transfer my PowerPoint into a PDF because I like to make it digital and editable. And so usually what I do is I leave it as a PowerPoint, and then after I leave it as a PowerPoint, I also added a Google Slides link so they can edit it there. Now I'm just going in and making sure that the links work. You always want to check to make sure that the links work before you prepare to upload. And so I'm just doing that for both of the links that I have there. And so both of the links do work. This is my website. I generally want people to go to my website or to sign up to get the free classroom resources. I also want to put in my email address or highlight that to make sure that if they have any questions, that they can let me know about any questions they may have about the product, or if links or things aren't working, to let me know about that as well. Now we're going to go to pdfescape.com. Once you're in PDF Escape, you're going to go to just the free online, and then you're going to go to upload PDF to PDF Escape. So the PDF that we turned our PowerPoint into, we're going to upload that. And once we get that in PDF Escape, you're going to see a variety of things that you can do to actually just edit your PDF. So I'm going to show you that you can highlight a word to link it to an outside web page. So here I'm going to go in and highlight the last two links and show you that you can do that for each place where there's a link where you want people to go, and you can go ahead and fix the little highlight box so that it covers just what you want it to cover. If you do click somewhere else, it will like create a highlight box for you, and you don't want to do that. So make sure that if that does happen, just like that, you can just hit the delete box, the trash can above. So click link again, and then it will be, then you can click around freely without having to accidentally click more boxes. And then you're going to hit the green arrows, and then you're going to download that PDF, and that will be, well, it should be your final product that you'll have. And so you can see now that you can go to those links. They're all already highlighted, so people know that it's easy to click on, and that links to somewhere else. So I test it out, takes me back to my website, and I know that it works. So stay tuned for part 3 of this video series where we upload this product to Teachers Pay Teachers. Please like and subscribe, and if you have any comments, please put them down below, and I'll be sure to answer them in the next video.